Good afternoon. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys are having a good weekend. And just wanted to take a few minutes of your time, if I could, and talk to you about, the things I've experienced over the last week. Not to go into my personal life, but mostly just to understand how the flow of how life is and how we experience things in life that come to us unexpectedly or whatever, where we're trying to find our way through all of this, and where we're trying to reach maybe a goal in our life or something like that, and we keep running into these roadblocks. Whether they're whatever they are, these roadblocks seem to knock us back, and we're challenged by them because we don't really. We don't obviously want them in our lives and stuff like that, or maybe they bring up something, from our past that causes us to be discouraged, or to kind of maybe just hang out there for too long and think about that stuff when we, at one point in time, maybe we put it down and we thought we were done with it, and we realized that we're not. So that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Dealing with roadblocks, or bumps in the road, or redirections of our lives when we have a plan. It's okay. It's okay for those things to happen in our life. Of course, we don't want certain things to happen, but they're going to happen. So we have to recognize that, and we have to come to grips with that, and we need to understand that life is not always going to be easy for us, and we need to have tools in our toolbox to help us work on those things when they come through. The better we are prepared for that, the easier we are to get through them. And actually maybe even help somebody else do that. So one of the things that seems to challenge people, men, and women, is just our self-worth, our footprint here on the planet, if you will, or just how we fit into this world. And some of us walk into a room and we take over the room, we own the room, and we're confident, and we're walking around with other people and other people in the room, and we aren't uncomfortable about that. Crowds don't bother us, and getting to know strangers don't bother us. And then there's other people that are just completely frightened by that, and they don't know what to do, and so they freeze up or whatever. And so it's all perspective. It's all on how you choose to see your environment and how it's being presented to you. And so having our understanding of that, if you will, or having a place where we can kind of process that in our mind, whether it's just for a few seconds or whatever, because we're caught off guard or something like that, or if we're knowing something's coming up, like a company party or gathering or something like that we're going to have to go to, and we're not really wanting to, or we're uncomfortable about going. It's not that we don't really want to, but we're just uncomfortable about it. These are the things that people run into. And then there's other things too. People have challenges with, whether it's the responsibility of a relationship, or taking care of a child, or things in our life that come into our life, things that are maybe at one point in time we wanted or something like that. And now that it's happening, it's not quite happening the way we thought it was going to happen. And that's kind of what I'm talking about. And that's what this video is about, is really just trying to identify and learn how to get through things that are challenging, that we didn't really want to happen. It's important for you to realize that in these times where you're having these challenges, or these fears, it's important for you to know that you are where you're supposed to be. You are worthy of being there. You are just as important as the next person is to be there. There is a plan for why you're there. All of these things, and this isn't a fluke, or it wasn't supposed to be happening and stuff like that. These are all things that are set in place for you to be successful. And it really just depends on how you choose to take that. If you choose to be overwhelmed by it, then you're probably going to have a harder time getting through it and finding the success from it, the victories in it, if you will. But if you face it in a better way, where you're going, okay, this is an opportunity for me to learn something. This is an opportunity for me to grow. This is an opportunity for me to stretch. And those are all things that are okay with me, as long as I'm able to manage them to a certain point, know when to stop and stuff like that. And that's okay. I mean, you should be able to have that in your toolbox, if you will, to get through the things that happen in life that are unexpected or challenging. So be encouraged by, first and foremost, knowing that you are there for a reason. This was all orchestrated for you to be there, as well as orchestrated for the person standing next to you to be there, and the reason they're there and stuff like that. All of these things are good things. They're opportunities, and there are positive things and not negative things. And so keeping a positive mindset, having a focus on what this is going to benefit you, being calm and not reading into things. Don't overthink things. Just listen, be more of a sponge and absorb what's going on around you, but also be involved, be connected, and talk to people. These are all helpful things to get you through this and to get you on to why you're there in the first place. The other thing is too, and this is where my faith comes in, is God wants you to grow. He wants you to find a purpose, if you will. He already knows what your purpose is, and he's excited for you to get there, but he's not going to show it to you ahead of time. He's going to let you find your way there, because that's much more rewarding than just having it given to you. And if you know that when you're walking into situations, and you know that there's, let's say you're doing a job interview or something like that, or maybe a new relationship, a first date, or moving to a new town, or maybe even buying a car, anything like that. Of course, you want to go in and you feel that you're having everything, you've thought about it, you've gotten everything kind of prepared, and you're ready to go. So you feel pretty confident about that. But there's always going to be a surprise. There's always going to be something that's unexpected that shows up, and that's okay, because you know that that's going to happen. You don't know what it is, you don't know when it's going to happen, but you know that it's going to happen. And when that comes in, think of it as a positive thing and not a negative thing, and that will help you to be successful in everything that you do. And you'll feel better about yourself. You'll come home and you'll feel good about your accomplishments. You'll feel like you conquered the mountain, if you will, things like that. We're doing a study in my small group right now about King David, and one of the stories, which a lot of people of us know, is David and Goliath. And David went in with confidence in God, and he went in knowing that he was going to be, God was going to be with him. He didn't necessarily know the outcome, but he felt confident that the outcome was going to be what God had planned and not what Goliath had planned. And so David went in there with confidence, and he also went in there with assurance of knowing that, because of the experiences that he went through when he was a shepherd, or as being a shepherd, and things like that. And he learned those things. So those things that were big at the time, whatever they were, prepared him, trained him to be ready for that day. One of the biggest stories of his life, fighting Goliath, the giant. And he came prepared. And again, he wasn't trying to know what it was ahead of time. He didn't ask God, what is it in 3 weeks? Am I going to be fighting, a giant? Or, he didn't. He just trusted God. And that's what we're supposed to do. So I encourage you, when you're going through things and you're unsure of what the future holds, don't focus on what you don't know, but focus on the things that you do know, and trust God in all of that, and go to him in all of that. And it'll really make a big difference in your life. I wish you all the best. Have a wonderful Sunday. Take care. Bye-bye.